Hi everyone, welcome to the first in my new tour analysis series where in each of my newsletters I'll be posting some tour players' swings and just chatting through what they do really well and what you can learn from their swings. Okay, every golf swing is going to be very individual, but there's going to be things from each of these swings that we can point out to kind of help you with your golf. Now going through this, if there's any players, you've got favourite players, or if there's any players that you'd like me to analyse, then feel free to email me and let me know. So, playing in front of you here is Dustin Johnson. Okay, now Dustin had a fantastic Ryder Cup, won all 5 points in sort of a very dominant American victory. So let's kind of talk through just a couple of things that he does really well. Okay. Now, what we're going to look at here, and now, first things first, okay, I have a lot of people that would say to me that they've been told to keep their head still, okay? But what I wanted to look at here during Dustin's swing is watch the peak of his cap and watch how his head is moving, okay? So now, you wouldn't necessarily say that head was still, but it's working very well with his movement. So what I mean by that is, rather than thinking about keeping the bill of his cap, looking at the golf ball all the time, that would restrict his turn in both directions. I'd like for you to think about more that if you kept kind of your spine in the same place, but you allowed your head and your eyes to free up a little bit to the right on the way back, for a right-handed golfer obviously, and through the golf ball on the way through. Because if we look here at Dustin, let's look at the bill of his cap where it's pointing. As he goes to the top of his backswing, you'll notice now the cap is pointing further away from the target. Now as he comes back to impact, the cap turns back onto the golf ball. And what you're really going to see is as he goes through, his cap and his eyes are going to follow the golf ball very quickly. They're not going to stay down looking at where the divot was struck for a long time. He's following and chasing that golf ball down the line. Okay, so think about your head movement as it being fine to move, but think of it as twisting movement rather than a lateral side to side move. Okay, now something else Dustin does particularly well. He's a real athlete. Okay, he can dunk a basketball. He's a fantastic swimmer. He's 6'5". He's sort of got a massive mechanical advantage over a lot of other players. So now as he swings back, he's going to make a very big turn. And what I wanted to note is on the right hand image here, we're going to draw a line on where his right pocket is. Now as he turns back, watch how his right side moves away from that line as he turns. So he stays inside those parameters, inside the line if you like, but look at how much he has now moved his right hip backwards and also slightly away from the right yellow line there. So his hips are working and turning back and around. Now what you'll find is he has a good weight shift to his lead side. He goes through that left line. But now from here, okay, he is going to stop moving forwards, unwind, and rotate into the golf ball. Okay, so he's got a brilliant turn, which we saw here. Look at his pocket again on the right. Fantastic hip turn on the way back. Has a good shift forwards, but he gets his shift forwards done early. Now from here, he's all set, ready to go, to rotate, to deliver that golf club through the golf ball. Okay, so last thing I want to look at. Dustin Johnson is famous for this bowed wrist position at the top, okay, which gets, and by bowed what we mean is that there's an arch in the back of the wrist here. That gets the club face closed to his toe or relative to his lead arm. Okay, so effectively, if he came down and everything lined up and he kept his wrist the same, he would hit the ball to the left. But we know Dustin is a fader of the golf ball. So now what this helps him do, anytime the club face is more closed, okay, you're going to reduce the amount of loft you deliver to the golf ball. Now, Dustin is a very high-speed player, so a big thing to note for high-speed players is controlling ball flight. And we know he's a fantastic wedge player, okay? So what this enables him to do, by being more flexed in the wrist here, as he comes down, he shifts his body forwards, what you'll notice at the moment of impact, okay, you'll see that flex wrist allows him to deliver more lean in the shaft. His hands are forward of the ball at impact, so he's effectively reducing the loft of that golf club by 14 degrees. So he's going to get a much lower launch angle and potentially more distance because he's turning, let's say, a 6-iron into a sort of a 4.5, 5-iron. He's really taking some loft off of that golf club at impact. Now, that helps him control the flight of the golf ball, okay? But to do that has to come with a big body turn. So look at impact, how here his left side has really unwound. So the big takeaways from this, okay, is that allow your head movement to go with your body turn. Don't think about keeping the bill of your cap looking at the golf ball. Allow that head movement to work with your body turn to facilitate, okay, a much bigger rotation, to allow these hips to turn, to allow that shoulder to turn back and behind you, okay? The head movement facilitates a bigger turn. Now, if you've got a bigger turn, get your weight shift done early. Now you can unwind through the golf ball, deliver the hands ahead of the golf club for impact, to strike down on the golf ball and swing through to a big full finish. So hopefully there's a few tips that will help you. Again, Dustin is a fantastic athlete, so we're not necessarily going to get into positions that he does, but there are things that we can learn from his golf swing. Like I said, if there's any swings that you'd like me to review in the future, please feel free to email me and look out for this section on the newsletter, and I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, bye.